Girls and women's sports are for real females. Welcome. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Saving America. And we need to save something here because otherwise women's sports will be ruined. In an effort for, I'm not really sure what, but it is a very, very difficult situation out there right now in women's amateur and professional sports. And this is just an important note before we get started. And that is that I have personally dealt as a human resource and employment law consultant with persons going through gender reassignment surgery. This is a very serious situation. It's not something that's done lightly. It does involve significant surgery, either male to female or female to male. Nothing that I am saying today in any way impugns the right of individuals to seek appropriate treatment if they feel this is necessary and to pursue this important and life-changing procedure. However, what we're dealing with today is something very different. As many of you know, if you follow the news at all, that in Loudoun County, a boy pretending to be a girl went into the girls' room at a high school in Loudoun County and raped a girl. He was then quietly moved to another high school where he raped another girl. Folks, we cannot have predators pretending to be females going into ladies' restrooms. And there's a little bit more publicity to that lately because of a very odd situation that happened in the last week. Women's sports used to, and I'm old enough that I remember when women's sports were kind of a footnote and there were so-called girls softball and things like that, but it really wasn't taken very seriously. We have made enormous strides in women's equality in sports at both the amateur and professional level. We may not allow that to backslide. And I am personally committed to making sure that while we are being sensitive to legitimate transgender issues, we are not sacrificing the opportunity for women to be equal in competing with other women, just as men compete with other men. And this is situation kind of hit ahead over the last week or so, when in the NCAA championship women's 500-meter freestyle national race, where a male swimmer from Penn, which is, by the way, my undergraduate college, nothing against Penn, and he swam for the previous 3 years as a male swimmer. Get this, immediately switches over, says, hey, I'm female, and wins a race on the female side. Now, what's interesting for me is the number 2 woman, the real woman, was from the University of Virginia, where I also have a strong connection with 2 graduate degrees. And her father has been very outspoken about the fact that this award rightfully belongs to her. And this is a very important situation. Again, nothing against Penn, nothing against this individual as a swimmer. But if we're going to have people pretending to be someone from another gender, then maybe they have to swim in yet a third category called people deciding to do something different, and certainly not allow them to swim in legitimate races against legitimate females. And you say, well, gee, could he have had gender reassignment surgery? Frankly, folks, he cannot go in 1 year. And again, I'm not a medical doctor, but I am well aware of the structure of this procedure and how things are done. Based on what I know about the situation, he has not been through gender reassignment surgery, and he would also need to be on hormones for years before his muscle mass and other things was in any way comparable to legitimate women who are born as females. Again, folks, regardless of what you've heard from some of the woke crowd, there are only two genders, and we all know that. And I'm not sure how people have been persuaded to suspend reality. Thank you for joining us today for this interesting challenge that we are facing in our community. This is Dr. David D. Shine for Saving America. If you've enjoyed this broadcast, please join us on your favorite platform.